Joining us now is Matt Rascone, an anchor and reporter for Ohio's WKYC, who's joining us live from outside a polling site in Cleveland this morning. Matt, good to have you here. So Ohio used to be a pretty purple state, but hasn't voted for a Democrat now for president since 2012. Why do you think Senator Brown is confident he can have enough ticket splitters to get him reelected?
Yeah, Anna, I think it's because he's done it before, right? As you said, since 2012, Ohio has consistently voted Republican overall, but yet you have someone like Senator Brown who has continued to grab the vote each of those elections. Now in his bid for his fourth term, he is once again banking on what has happened over the last several years. Although, as you said, this is one that is virtually tied. I mean, this is a close race in all the polls that we've seen. But in 2018, Senator Brown grabbed 53.5% of the vote over his challenger. In 2020, President Trump had that same amount over President Biden here in Ohio. I think that he'll be relying on purple counties. As you said, Ohio, a red state now, but you still have those pockets of counties that are either blue or even purple. We're here in Cuyahoga County today, here in Cleveland. This is a reliably blue county. Over to our west, you have Lorain County, which was pretty tight in the last couple of presidential elections, a very close margin. And so it'll be a county like that. It'll be a county like in Mahoning here in Northeast Ohio that will help decide and put whether they're going to send Senator Brown back to Washington. Voters, though, that we've talked to, they have been turned off on both sides by how long he's been in office. It has been a long time for Senator Brown, but then again, that experience, I think, has also played a part and a role in how other voters view this race. Of course, he's up against businessman Bernie Moreno, who has really put his campaign, at least in the primaries, it was all about the endorsement from former President Trump.
And speaking of former President Trump, I know you've been talking to voters about this year's presidential race. So what else are you hearing related to that?
Well, we are seeing a lot of voter enthusiasm this election. Again, as I mentioned, we're outside the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections. The line for early voting is wrapped around the building. And several counties that we've spoken to, they are expecting record-breaking numbers during early voting, at least. And then, of course, we'll have to wait to see on Election Day whether people continue to show up. And so they're seeing a lot of that enthusiasm. The presidential race continues to be the top race that is bringing people to the polls, those that we've spoken to at least. But you have a lot of different issues that people are interested in. Housing, the economy. State issue one is one that's also bringing people here. That has to do with redistricting, gerrymandering, creating a citizen-led coalition that would create the districts in Ohio. Immigration has also really crept into the conversation here in Ohio for multiple reasons as well. And so we'll continue to see, how voters are going to continue to show up during this last week before the election.
We have some sound of yours from previous interviews you've done. Let's listen.
It's been a rough one. It's been a dirty one.
America first. That's what I'm about. That's what I believe in.
He's a convicted felon. I mean, we need to be done. I don't want to hear his name again. I don't.
Kamala or Trump, before they say anything of that, it should be a fact instead of just a made-up lie. And there are too many of those in this election. People are confused.
Always good to hear from the voters. You talked about some of the issues that are driving them. I do want to ask you about what we, have heard from Trump related to Springfield, Ohio. And at one point he said he was going to go visit Springfield, Ohio. That hasn't materialized. But how has that played there with Ohio voters?
Yeah, during those several days, those even weeks after the debate where this was sort of thrown into the spotlight, this was a conversation every day here in Ohio. Governor DeWine made visits there nearly every day to Springfield. That's an area that where he's from. I spoke to Governor DeWine a couple of times about this, and he made this a top issue to try to root out any misinformation surrounding this conversation regarding Haitian immigrants eating pets. over there. And so this was something that did creep into the conversation. I think that it helped put immigration into the conversation in Ohio, which of course is, not super close to the border with Mexico. But it's continued to be a talker at times, with Governor DeWine continuing to try to shut down and make sure that, this conversation does not continue. He's put it out there in the New York Times and other places. Really wants to make sure that voters are informed and know that the immigrants in that area also have been a benefit in a lot of ways to that community.